All right, we're about to solve a 1,000-year-old mystery. It's a real-life detective story, but instead of clues, we're following the branches of a single family tree. And trust me, you are not going to believe where this trail ends. Have you ever kind of wondered if you have royalty somewhere back in your family tree? I know, it sounds like something out of a fairy tale, right? Well, stick with me because today we're going to see just how real that possibility is by following one person's absolutely incredible lineage. So our whole investigation, it starts right here with one person, L. Samantha Weiss. We're going to follow her family tree from where she is today, all the way back, and I mean all the way back, to the age of the Vikings, showing how a modern family connects to an epic, epic past. You know, any good family detective story has to start with the most recent clues, right? The stuff you know. So that's where we're going to start our climb, with L's immediate family, moving back one generation at a time. Okay, let's dive right in. Starting with Robert in 1933 and going back, we see names like Wise, Harrower, Beveridge, and Mackey. I mean, for 300 years, this is a very, very Scottish family. But then we hit this name, Isabel Laurie, born way back in 1633. Now, you're going to want to remember her. She is the key. This is where everything changes. Okay, so right here with Isabel Laurie's family, the entire trail just takes this wild, electrifying turn. It's like the world of everyday Scottish folks just vanishes, and we are about to step into a completely different universe. This is it. This is the moment. Our story literally leaps from the farms and towns of Scotland straight into the halls of English royalty. And you know what's crazy? The connection is shockingly direct. So to really get how big this leap is, we've got to talk about something called the Order of the Garter. I mean, think of it like the ultimate VIP club of the 14th century. This was the highest honor in England, period. You only got in if you were in the monarch's absolute inner circle. And the guy who holds the key for us is this man, Sir Thomas Darcy. He was a powerful baron, a huge player in the Tudor court, and yep, a Knight of the Garter. He is the literal bridge connecting Isabel Laurie's family to the English nobility. But it's his own family connections. Oh man, that's where this story goes from interesting to absolutely mind-blowing. So get this, here's the bombshell. Sir Thomas Darcy wasn't just some noble. He was related by blood to the throne itself. His aunt became one of the most famous and, yeah, tragic queens in all of English history. And the path is so direct, it's crazy. Sir Thomas's grandmother, a woman named Lady Elizabeth Wentworth, had a daughter named Jane Seymour. And yes, that Jane Seymour, the third wife of the one and only King Henry VIII. You know that old nursery rhyme for Henry's wives, right? Divorced, beheaded, died. Well, Jane Seymour, she was the died wife. She was the queen who finally gave Henry the son he was so obsessed with. But so tragically, she died just a few days later from complications. And just like that, boom, Elle's family tree is now directly plugged into the Tudor dynasty. Now, here's the thing. Once you're connected to a massive royal house like the Tudors, the family tree it explodes. It goes everywhere. Because back then, royal marriages were basically the political glue holding Europe together. So now we can trace this single line to almost every major throne on the continent. So, okay, let's keep going back, right? Before the Tudors, you had the mighty Plantagenets. And all of a sudden, we're not just talking about being related to royalty. We are talking about some of the most legendary kings in history. I mean, you've got Edward III, the guy who started the 100 Years' War, and then his descendant, the legendary warrior king Henry V, the hero of Agincourt. Yeah, so this is definitely not just an English story anymore. Because of all those royal marriages, this one lineage spreads like wildfire. It connects directly to the royal families of France, of Castile and Spain, Portugal, and even back to Normandy. And you want a perfect example of how this all works? Look no further than Eleanor of Aquitaine. I mean, this woman was an absolute powerhouse in the Middle Ages. She was so powerful, she was Queen of France, and then, when that marriage was over, she turned around and became Queen of England. And get this, she is a direct ancestor in Elle's family line. Incredible. All right, so if we follow the line through Eleanor's husband, King Henry II, well, that takes us back to a year that every single person knows, a date that totally changed England forever. You guessed it, King Henry II was the great-grandson of William the Conqueror himself, the Duke of Normandy who sailed across the Channel, won the Battle of Hastings, and basically created the England we know today. So, can we go back even further? You bet we can. You see, the Normans, their name literally means Northmen. They were Vikings. They came from Scandinavia. So, for the last piece of this absolutely wild puzzle, we are heading back to the age of the Vikings.
So, if you trace the line back from France, it passes through this princess from Kievan Rus named Anne. And her mother, she was a Swedish princess. And her family line? Well, that connects directly to one of the most famous and fearsome Viking kings of them all, Sweyn Forkbeard of Denmark.
And there it is. Just like that, we've done it. We have followed an unbroken family line stretching over 1,000 years of history. It starts with a woman in modern-day Scotland, and it ends with the Viking king who actually conquered England way back in 1013, 50 years before William the Conqueror even showed up. You know, a journey like this really proves something amazing. History. It's not just some story in a dusty old book. It is a living, breathing thing that literally flows through our veins. It's in our DNA. So, what's the big takeaway here? It's that history is incredibly personal. Every single one of us is at the end of this long, unbroken chain. A story of survival, of migrations, of love, of war. And that story leads directly to us. So, the final question I want to leave you with isn't just about Elle's family. It's about yours. Who is hiding in your family tree?